Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Sky Factory 3. Let's see, before we get going here, I wanted to address this that I was working on last episode. I moved the 3 storage things I had sticking off the side here to the back, and I also made 7 more, or 11 more, and I'm using them to store all kinds of things that were taking up space in the storage system, mostly the 7 types of metal ingots that I'm getting from this little system here, as well as coal and ender pearls and a few other things. But thank you to, let me check the name, slendermankiller. Yes, slendermankiller, here we go, for telling me if you put an exporter on a storage unit, and then you also put an external storage on it, they both do kind of the same thing. The external storage has a insert and extract option on it, so it can put in and pull out items from the storage without you having to worry about importer and exporter. So basically what my system was doing was it was saying, hey, here's a bunch of cobblestone, like for this one specifically, here's a bunch of cobblestone. And then the external storage was saying, hey, there's cobblestone in the system. And then the exporter was saying, oh, there's cobblestone in the system, put it through here into the storage unit. So it was kind of like cycling cobblestone through itself over and over and over. But one second. Let me make sure this thing is acting right. Yeah, okay. I had to move a window. So yeah, it was just recycling like a piece of cobblestone through the system hundreds of times. But this way, you say, hey, the external storage is looking at this, and you give it a priority. Mine are all set to priority 1, all of these. And you have to make sure that number is higher than the priority of your disk drive. This one is priority 0. You just have to make sure it's higher. So whenever the system receives an item that's supposed to go into one of these, it says, okay, the priority of this is higher than that, so do not store it on the disk, store it out here. So that's what it's doing for all these items. I've got like diamonds and emeralds and, you know, aluminum, copper, steel, dark steel, all that stuff is out there. So I actually removed one of my 64K drives, the one that we don't have anything in, just so I could keep a better eye on the first one here, and it's at 33%. Let's see, 21205. Did that just go up 1? I think occasionally it'll go up 1 here and there, just from the items coming out of the farm there, because I don't have external storage for the Supremium block and this stuff, fertilized essence. I don't have external storage for those two, so those are going straight into onto the drive. But anyway, so I've got tons and tons of items all back here that I can use whenever I need to without them taking up a bunch of space. Alright, now for what the episode is actually about. I mentioned these 2 things last episode. We're going to get to those this episode. These are from Environmental Tech. This is the Void Resource Miner, and this is the Void Ore Miner. So to set this stuff up, first off, you're going to want to make an assembler. The assembler is like your wrench or, you know, miscellaneous tool for this mod. And to make this, you need 2 pieces of obsidian and some kind of structure block tier 2. So the options are alabaster, basalt, hardened stone. Well, if you look at alabaster, you need a alabaster structure block tier 1 and then upgrade it with diamonds and redstone. Well, the alabaster structure block tier 1, you need a piece of alabaster, obviously, with gold and redstone. So I was like, alright, well, let's go get some alabaster. And I looked all over the place, and it turns out you just can't get it. You can't go into the beneath and mine it out anywhere. There's no alabaster. So I was like, alright, what's my second option? Basalt, same story. There's no basalt either. So the third option here is hardened stone. structure block. So it's basically the exact same recipe, except you use this hardened stone instead of alabaster or basalt. And that recipe is 4 cobblestone, 5 smooth stone. So I was like, alright, good deal. We can go ahead and make this. So that's where you want to start. Make a hardened stone, and then upgrade that, redstone and gold, to make the tier 1, and then use that to make your tier 2 with diamonds and redstone, and then use that to make your assembler. You could also go up to tier 3 and I believe 4 and maybe 5 even, but for these controller tier 1 blocks that I have here, I only required the tier 1 blocks to be made out of all the other stuff here. This is all hardened stone. Made a whole bunch of it. Anyway, so once you have your assembler, let's see, void resource miner. Let's see here at environmental tech. Let's look at these individually. So the ore miner controller is what you want to make first before you make the resource miner, because you can actually get the resources for this. So block of quartz, we know where to get quartz. Blocks of gold, we can get gold all over the place. 1 iron ore and 1 diamond ore. So from the beneath, or some other way, if you have another way to get iron ore, you go and grab an iron ore, and then you need a silk touch or something to get a diamond ore from in there. You also need a clear lens and a laser core. And the clear lens, you need clear glass and a lens item. The lens item is 3 more clear glass, so you need 11 of that total. And that stuff is enriched sand smelted. The enriched sand is a nether quartz and a sand or a red sand. Or snad actually works. Yeah, snad works too as sand. Anyway, so you mix up a whole bunch of that. Oh, you can make clear glass too. Mix up a whole bunch of that. Then you do the laser core. It needs 4 more clear glass, 2 iron, 2 redstone. Super simple. So once you get this controller built, you place it down somewhere, like I did right here, and then you get your assembler and you left click with it, so like you're attacking it, and it tells you in the chat there, blocks required, and it tells you all the stuff that you need to build the structure. So 24 structure block tier 1 or above. So if you look here, there's structure blocks. These are the ones that I made, the hardened stone structure block. You need 24 of those tier 1 or higher. So tier 1s are hardened stone, gold, redstone. Easy, easy. 24 of those. And then we also need 20 machine bases. And I believe those have the same types. Yeah, so there's alabaster, basalt, and hardened stone for those as well. So hardened stone machine base, you need a hardened stone, 4 iron bars, 2 redstone, and 2 gold nuggets. So iron, redstone, gold, and hardened stone. And that's for one of those. So 20 of those. And then you need 2 laser cores. We already looked at the laser core. That's this item here. And then 1 clear laser lens or any colored variant. So the laser lens is actually this item here, clear lens, not this item here that's just named lens. So you actually have to build the lens and then put more glass around it. So that's the 11 clear glass item to make the clear lens. You can also color it, and each different color, I believe, affects the type of items that you get. It affects the frequency of items that these miners will give you. I think. Like each one has its own different stats, but let's see. What is the... Here we go. Void ore miner. So let's say the clear lens, you can get copper ore. If you want to get copper ore more often, the preferred lens to get copper ore is orange lens. Gives you a 14.44% chance as opposed to an 8.18% chance with a clear lens. You can also get ardite with orange. So like each one has its own. What's the purple one give you? Magenta hardened clay in the resource miner. Okay. And the light blue, probably like the same thing. Yeah, light blue hardened clay in the resource miner. So you can kind of affect. But the cyan lens, does that have a ore miner? Yeah, for diamonds. So you can get diamond ore more often if you use cyan instead of clear by a pretty good amount. Pretty good increase. How about black lens? Ore miner. You can get coal, lonsdaleite, lonsdaleite, I don't know. That thing. And black quartz. Increased chance with those. Black lens instead of clear. But both of mine are made with clear lenses. I'm not really worried about the increased chance of anything specifically. I just take the base amounts. It's fine. But anyway, once you have all those items in your inventory... Oh, hello, mouse. Stop tripping out. Once you have all those items in your inventory, you just stand here looking at your controller and right-click, and it will place all the items out of your inventory in the world on its own until it is totally completed, and then it'll give you that multi-block assembly complete message there. And then it should be good to go as soon as you supply it with power. It doesn't take a whole lot of power. The controller tier 1 doesn't take a lot of power. These two have been running for like 3 days. Yeah, it doesn't really use a whole ton of power. But anyway, you can then just connect an inventory to it or put a chest next to it, next to the controller block here. You can also use conduits or any kind of piping or whatever, and it will start exporting items for you. As long as it has line of sight underneath, all the way down to either bedrock layer or the void layer underneath. And it'll start giving you items. So the ore miner is what you want to build first, and that's because the resource miner... Or do I have that backwards? No, you want the ore miner first because you can get the iron and diamond ore that you need to make it. The resource miner is second because you need... Well, I don't know. I guess you could do either one first. You just need moss stone, end stone, and netherrack. And you can actually make all those. But I guess if you start with the resource miner, then you can use alabaster and basalt blocks to build the other one. I mean, I don't think one type of structure block has an advantage over another. I think they're all equal. They're just, you know, the blocks you use to build it. I don't think they affect the structure at all, just the color. It just affects what it looks like. So if you want to color code them, I guess you could do that. But they're kind of color coded already. A little bit. Anyway, yeah, I guess you can do either one first. Just depends on what items that you want to start generating first. But anyway, so the resource miner is exact same process, and I'm pretty sure it takes the exact same items. 24 structure blocks, 20 machine base, 2 laser core, and a clear laser lens or colored variant. So yes, exactly the same. Difference being, the ore miner, of course, gives you ores. So coal, iron, lead, redstone, bauxite, which is aluminum, black quartz, lapis, nickel, diamond, uranium, zirconium, these lonsdaleite, whatever shards, glowstone, yellowite, emeralds, dimensional shards, and then these are just overflow. So let's sort those. The dimensional shards are what mostly I was interested in when I built these, so I can use those to upgrade my power cells. And then I went ahead and just built the resource miner to get miscellaneous, just like vanilla blocks, more or less. So you get stone, diorite, granite, gravel, dirt, netherrack, andesite, soul sand, alabaster, hardened stone, so you don't actually have to craft anymore. Not like it's, you know, super difficult or whatever. Basalt, end stone, hardened clay, regular clay, podzol, moss stone, grass blocks, cobble, obsidian, mycelium. There's some more sand. Sponges, so if you have a use for sponges. Red sand, mica, and then every colored variety of hardened clay. So if you have a use for any of those items, that's what you want to shoot for, is building the resource miner. Now I'm pretty sure when you upgrade these, say if you want to go to tier 2 or higher, so let's say you want to go from the ore miner controller tier 1 to tier 2, you have to make 3 controller tier 1s, and then it takes 4 blocks of diamonds, the clear lens, and the laser core to make 1 tier 2. Now I'm pretty sure I actually have not built anything higher than a tier 1. The first time I built these was in Hermit Pack, not too long ago. But I also haven't built anything higher than tier 1 here. But I'm pretty sure they require more power, but also generate more resources faster. So I'm not sure about the structure itself. Like, is the structure larger or not? I have no idea. Like I said, I have not built a second one. But I might test that out. I'll like deconstruct one, rebuild it as a tier 2, and we'll see if it's any bigger or not. Anyway, let's see, what else have I been up to? I disassembled the soul sand generator thing that was here because we're getting soul sand over there. So that freed up some space. Then I reorganized these panels so they're not all like in a weird position here. And I kind of wrapped around it. You know, I think that's about it. Oh, I have been having a little bit of trouble over here. I was getting a giant stockpile of chain armor, chain helmets, tops, legs, like chest plates or whatever, and boots. I was getting a whole ton of them in here and they were clogging up the system. So they also don't go in a loot recycler. You can't put them in there. So what I have, you guys might have seen this previously, I have a little setup to pull them out from the bottom and put them in this diamond or crystal chest here. So that's where they all go. All the enchanted ones are in here. So if I need any kind of enchantment, I can pull from these. Also, stone swords and iron swords go down here, just to take them out because I don't get them that often. And then the unenchanted versions of those, you notice there's not any unenchanted chain gear in here. That all goes out here into this crafter, which is combining them together to make full ones. So it's more or less just deleting them. So anytime it'll get a chain chest plate, it'll take the one that's in here and combine it in the crafting grid with the other one and make another full one. So it just basically deletes all the extras. It's doing the same with the stone swords, and I'm going to probably set it up for iron swords, but I haven't gotten more than like a couple so far. I'm mostly getting the Trithos, Chappas, and iron shovels. And I have some of those stashed away like over there in that chest. So I'm going to slowly take apart all of these chests full of stuff. Like here I've got extra chain junk laying around. I'll eventually get this all sorted out and fixed, but yeah, this is all just overflow from that box right there. I've been working on that off and on. Let's get those put away. Down here, I think I did a little bit. I mentioned this last time with the ink, tons and tons of ink. I did a little bit here. I added a quantum storage for seeds because the farming station was getting clogged up with seeds on the export side here. And the crafter here actually had a ton of seeds in it. So I basically just whitelisted them appropriately on the sides here. So all the seeds are going to go in a quantum storage unit, and the wheat by itself goes in the crafter to make the bread. So this thing will make even more tons and tons of bread than I need. This is all finished. Haven't done anything with that yet. I'll get around to it soon. TM. And I haven't really killed any more wither bosses. So yeah, mostly, since yesterday, I've been working on the storage thing here, and that's about it. Oh, real quick, I sent out a tweet earlier that mentioned this, but if you're setting up something similar to this, anything that's kind of like that, if you have any kind of ingot in your hand and you want to open this interface right here, do not click on the external storage with the ingot in your hand. It will crash your game. I did that about 4 times because I was like watching YouTube videos just to kind of have something to listen to while I was working on this because it's all kind of repetitive. And yeah, I crashed my game like 4 times doing that. So do not click on the external storage with an ingot in your hand. They might have fixed that in updated versions of this mod pack, but like I said a couple episodes ago, I'm running the like 3.01 or 02 or whatever it is, the original version of the mod pack. Now the reason it crashes your game, I believe, is because there's that mod in the game. Let me just show you. I can mouse over it as long as I don't click. There's a mod in the game that allows you to place ingots on the ground in stacks. So you see how it subdivides the block into a 2x4 grid. You can place You can place ingots on the ground and make little stacks out of them. So if you go to click on the external storage, I don't know if you can actually see it very well, or you can see it from this angle. It puts the grid up on top of this block space here. And whenever it tries to put the ingot down there, it doesn't know what to do correctly, so it crashes the game out. So I'm pretty sure that's the issue. So just a heads up, do not click on this stuff with the ingot in your hand, or you'll have to start your game back up again. So yeah, I crashed my game a few times. Well, other than that stuff, I think that's going to do it for this episode. If you guys have anything you want me to take a look at in future episodes, let me know. Otherwise, I might start sorting out the items from these. I may, like this one definitely needs more storage space. This one, not so much. It's not as pressing of an issue. It doesn't get as many things as fast. That one, though, has a ton of different blocks it needs to acquire, so it gets this chest full, like, super fast. All the different colored clay blocks I'm never going to use for anything. Anyway, if you guys have anything you want me to take a look at coming up, let me know. Otherwise, I don't know. I'm kind of getting to the end of things, I think. I mean, there's still a lot of stuff in the pack I haven't touched, but it's mostly stuff that I don't really ever use. Like cooking for blockheads, for example, is in the mod pack. I used the sink from it a little while earlier, like in the soul sand setup, and very early in the game for the water. Otherwise, I'm just using like toast in the Baconator type item to feed myself now, so I don't even need any kind of special foods. I've got a whole chest full of just random food here I'm not using. I did make the milk jar just to see how it works, but you know, I don't have a use for the milk it's providing, so there's zombie flesh, monster jerky, whatever, apples from the trees. I've still got stacks of seeds in here, all these golden apples coming out of the mob farm, espresso, raw foods. Yeah, just tons of stuff I never really used. Even this like loot bag food. Oh yeah, Pam's Harvest Craft. I haven't really used much Pam's Harvest Craft either. I haven't looked at the chickens mod at all. I was watching a couple of other people's playthroughs of the mod pack actually, just to kind of get ideas. And Thunderchild, who also was the one who left a comment about the head crumb stars, they're edible. So shout out to Thunderchild. He's been using the chickens mod actually quite a bit. He's got like, you know, nesting boxes set up and storage for all the different kinds of chickens and things like that. So if you guys are interested in looking at chickens, he's down in my comments somewhere if you can find him. Thunderchild, if you watch this episode, leave a comment on this one so people can find your channel. He only has 7 subs right now. So, yeah, go check him out. I watched his series as it stands up until, I think, yesterday or day before. I've been watching through those. And I've learned a couple of things. So, anyway, if you guys, like I said, have anything you want me to take a look at, let me know. But until next time, thanks for coming by. Thanks for watching. Leave me comments. And I will see you guys next time. Have a good day.